Hello everybody, I am SilliyWilliy, and today we got the official reveal of Year 5 Season 2, Operation Steel Wave. I will be covering everything announced today from the new operators to the new elite skin, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off, we have a new secondary gadget with the proximity alarm. This works as a deployable, similar to vault cams. It can be thrown and sticks to surfaces. When attackers walk into that detection zone, it emits a loud beep that gives away their location. I can see this being very annoying, especially when hidden in a lot of the borderline impossible to find places that people are hiding vault cams in. All the new operators that are receiving this new secondary gadget include Castle, Caveira, Goyo, Rook, Wamai, Tachanka, Mira, Oryx, and Recruit. When it comes to the viability of this new gadget, I think it's going to be a little more viable for anchors, but I think it does have potential to be extremely overpowered once we find some good hiding spots for him. Next up, we have a change to the ranked system. Now you have to be level 50 instead of 30 in order to play in the ranked playlist. Also, ranks won't be tied to your region anymore. It's going to be worldwide. Also, players who want to be a champion rank will have to play at least 100 games in order to qualify for champion rank. I think all these changes are just fine. They don't really do much other than reduce the amount of smurfs and cheaters out there. A small but very cool change is now being able to apply a different skin to your attachments than your gun. I haven't seen many other competitive games doing this, so I'm pretty happy to see Siege implementing something so cool like this. Next, we have a buff to Alibi and Maestro shotguns. The shells are going to be changed to slugs, which will give them a little more power and range. Also, the damage is going to be increased from 27 to 41. We are also going to be seeing a nerf to Ella and Zophia's gadgets. They're going to remove the change in sensitivity that the gadgets would implement when you hit them. I've heard a lot of people complaining about their gadgets, especially Ella's Grismot's mine, so I'm pretty happy to see that they're doing this change. Along with Ella and Zofia, Echo is receiving a similar nerf where the camera roll effect is being removed when hit by his yokai drones. Also, the amount of time that you are affected is being fixed at 10 seconds instead of being affected by the player's movement. I can definitely see that 10 seconds being reduced in the future, but more notably, he's losing his shield and they're being replaced by impacts. This is a huge change, as many players won't be able to plop his shield down in the corner and just sit on their yokais anymore. I'm interested to see how this change is going to change how Echo is played in the future. Next up, a change that I'm very happy to see is Finka's Adrenal Boost being buffed to revive allies with 30 HP instead of 5. I felt this change needed to be in the works much sooner than it is now, but I'm just glad to see it coming in. It adds more of a benefit to using the Adrenal Surge on a teammate as opposed to physically reviving them or saving that surge for another more beneficial moment. Next, Kaid and Nomad are both receiving a new secondary weapon with the LFP586 revolver for Kaid and the PRB92 for Nomad. I'm happy that this is happening because I'm not the biggest fan of the 44 Magnum, so it'll be nice to have a new option when playing those operators. And of course, Ying is losing one of her 4 Candelas. It's going to be going back down to 3. This has already been implemented on PC, but it'll be coming to console with this new season, so we kind of saw this one coming, so not too much of a surprise there. Now on to the 3 operators I believe are receiving the biggest changes: Kali, Amaru, and Oryx. Kali is going to be gaining the SPS MG, which is Clash's machine pistol, as an alternative to the CZ75. I love this change, as I prefer Clash's pistol over the CZ75. Also, her explosive lance fuse time is going to be reduced from 2.5 to 1.5. This is going to make countering her with Bandit a lot more difficult, which is completely necessary because she is way too easy to counter right now. Lastly, on the list of changes for Kali, her sniper is going to have reduced screen climb after each shot. Not too big of a change, but it'll help her out a little bit. Moving on to Amaru, her Gara hook is now going to be able to break hatches, which is pretty awesome. It's going to make mobility and potential flanks from below a lot more plausible, especially when you compare that with the fact that she has now significantly less recovery time after landing, like much less. She'll actually be able to get in windows and start shooting enemies, not instantaneously, but definitely less time than before. The last change to Amaru is going to be when using her Gara hook to get through barricaded windows. The barricade on the window isn't actually going to break until Amaru is actually kicking through the window. I absolutely love this change to Amaru. It's going to provide a much stronger element of surprise to her. It's going to give her a lot better mobility, and it's going to make her, I think, a more strong operator overall. I always loved the concept of Amaru, but I thought she had way too many hindrances that are trying to bring her down and reduce her pick rate when she really needs to be a more viable pick. but looking at how the tweaks work in gameplay, I'm really stoked to see and hopefully use her in future ranked matches and not get called a seller. And last but not least, with the changes to operators, we have Oryx. Besides being one of the operators receiving a proximity alarm, he's also going to have his damage that he receives from using his dash on walls reduced from 10 to 5, and his MP5 is going to be receiving an angled grip. I think with these changes, much like Amaru, he's going to be a much more viable pick. I always felt that the time it takes to shoot after you use his dash has been way too long, and the enemies have way too much of a time to react. I think this will help him significantly with the angled grip especially, because he'll be able to ADS much faster after his dash and secure the kill. Also, I can see some pretty crazy plays by mixing up the proximity alarm, dashing through a wall, and then using the angled grip to get the quick kill on some unsuspecting players. Now onto the big stuff. We have 2 new operators coming with this season. We have a new attacker, Ace, and a new defender, Malusi. Ace is the new attacker, and he's a hard breacher, just like we guessed from the teaser. His gadget, it seems like it's going to be a lot more versatile than Hibana and Thermite, as it can destroy enemies' utility, open up hatches, and it can open from a single size mirror hole on the wall all the way up to the entire wall. I like Ace a lot because I tend to play Thermite in a lot of my ranked matches, and I feel like he might be a more viable pick to replace Thermite. Lastly, his AK-12 AR will have the regular sights and not the Russian sights, which I think is a nice little change just because I like all my sights to be equal. I don't really like, picking Finka or Fuse and having the different ACOG sight. Moving on to Malusi, who is our new defender, and her gadget is a placed trap-like device that slows down operators' movement, similar to being stuck in barbed wire. The trap is big and noticeable, but can only be destroyed by melee attacks or explosives. It can, however, be deactivated for a short amount of time by Twitch drones or Thatcher for an easy destroy. Her gadget seems fairly cool, but I'm interested to see how useful it actually becomes, especially in ranked and pro league. But what I'm most excited about is her loadout, paired with the fact that she is now a 3-speed on defense that we are getting finally after so many 2-speed, 2 armors. I'm so glad to get a new 3-speed on defense. So for her loadout, she's going to be rocking Legion's T5 SMG and the Super 90, and her secondary is going to be Ella's RG15 pistol. Her utility will consist of impacts and a deployable shield. This just blows my mind because I really feel like her loadout is where she shines. She can fit into a roamer role, an anchor role, and switch between the 2 of them on the fly in the middle of a round. She's going to be super versatile and lethal in my opinion. Now on to the house rework, which is a huge change to this map. House is going to be gaining multiple extra rooms, losing a lot of its ludicrous spawn peak potential, and I think overall just becoming more fun. Construction has been changed into a bedroom. The hall by construction is now a walk-in closet. The balcony above main door is now enclosed and connects to the bathroom, as well as all but one of the windows above main stairs being removed. Along with these changes, one of garage doors has been closed. The driveway is being gated off, similar to the change they just did with Border with the last rework. Also, there is now a destructible floor above garage door to allow for more vertical play, which I think is always fun. I love vertical play. Lastly, the treehouse is being changed, and I think it looks a lot cooler if you ask me. I think this rework is pretty awesome and completely necessary. This map has been way too small and just not fun for a while. It's been the same old thing since day one. I love this map since it's an OG, but I'm hoping that, with this rework, it'll be a lot more fun to play. The last thing I want to briefly talk about is the reveal of the Echo Elite skin. I thought this was just hilarious how they gave him an anime intro, showed him jumping around like a ninja. Also, I think the design's pretty spot on. It's simple, yet slick as hell. It's probably going to be in my top 5 or even top 3 Elite skins, and I'm definitely going to be buying this Elite skin day 1 and flexing it on the new map. Alright everybody, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Let me know what you thought of the reveal in the comments down below, and I can't wait for the test servers to drop tomorrow, May 19th. Hope to see you guys out there, and stay safe out there.